On to the big story related to Naga Peace talks. The working committee of the NNPGs today made a big statement informing that interlocutor AK Mishra has admitted that the talks have already concluded on October 31st. 2019. Well, in an exclusive conversation with our colleague Sarah Konyak, NNPG's co-convenor Isak Sumi said that apart from the topic of talks being concluded, no new agenda was discussed in the 3-hour-long meeting at Chumukedima Police Complex today. The NNPG's co-convenor said that the only focus of the meeting was the implementing part of the provision of the agreement signed in 2019 agreement. When asked for his response on the NSC&IM stand on conclusion of talks, Isak Sumi said that on the part of the NNPGs, the talks have ended. Well, Sumi said that whatever the contentions the NSC&IM have, the centre and the negotiating group must work to resolve them.
NNPGs had a sitting with the Government of India representative Mr. AK Mishra today at Chumukedima Police Complex. What is the outcome of the meeting, and can you briefly tell us what transpired in today's meeting, which lasted for almost 3 hours?
As we all know very well that the entire formal dialogue has already been completed since 31st October 2019, and AK Mishra on several occasions. This is the third meeting we have been having with AK Mishra. So he has already admitted and confirmed our position that the talks has already been concluded. So there was no new agenda that was discussed. Our only discussion was focused on the implementing part of the provisions that is included in the agreement.
Well, coming to your answer, you said that he has confirmed that talks have concluded. However, on the part of since there is one more negotiating party here in the peace talks, the NSC&IM have stated that talks have never concluded on 31st of October. So, Mr. Mishra conveying this to the 7 NNPGs, is he speaking just for the 7 NNPGs or the general peace talks which is being held with the NSC&IM as well?
As for the NSC&IM, let us be very clear. The negotiation is between the Government of India and the NNPG and between the Government of India and NSC&IM. So on our part, it is very clear that the talks have been concluded. Whatever problem, whatever contentions the IM may have, it is their problem, it is their outlook, and it is for the Government of India and the NSC&IM to resolve, and we have nothing to comment on that.
Meanwhile, NNPG's envoy Alozo Vino also confirmed that talks have concluded on October 31st, 2019. Venu said that there are documents to substantiate this. Well, the NNPG's envoy also added that contents of the framework agreement clearly states that talks have concluded.
NSC&IM recently have come up with a statement stating that they will not be a part of the NNPG solution. So, everybody, all the Nagas are seeking for one solution, one agreement only, and that has been the stand of the general populace. So what do you have to say on this on the part of the 7 NNPGs?
Oh, well, the working committee and NNPG is clear on that. There is no issue differences on that because as my co-convenor has already clearly stated on that issue, talk has been already concluded since 2019, 31st October. There, both the negotiating party has, was on board. So I think that suffices everything, and I think there is documents, when the framework agreement was signed, the framework, there in the content of the framework is very clear that the talk has been already concluded. So, now coming up with the issue, there is, Government of India and the negotiating party, both the, the working committee and NPG as well as the NSC&IM, and it's, between Government of India. So now I think the process itself, a common draft has to come out, from there. So, there is no, the question doesn't arise that, we'll be part of that, we will be against that. So I think on a part, the working committee is very clear on that. So I think that's not an issue.
And when asked if both the NSCNIM and the NNPGs will be sitting together to hammer out differences, Isak Sumi said that no negotiating party has exclusive franchise or rights over the Naga issue. Well, Sumi said that people's will is supreme as far as solution to the vexed Naga issue is concerned.
To the debate over one solution, one agreement, again, the stakeholders, especially the facilitators, the elected members, they have been, in this past 5 years specifically, they have been looking at every possibility to find a middle path between the Government of India and the NSCNIM especially, as well as between the NNPGs and the NSCNIM. Their aspiration is that that the two parties should sit together and sort out their differences, which has not been materialized so far, despite all the consultative meetings and the appeal and approaches made to both the parties. So can we expect this anytime soon as well? If we are near into the solution, then how important?
In that aspect, a time may come when all the process has been completed, when a time comes for us to ink a final agreement. It will be inevitable, whether we like it or not. The Government of India will have to take a call, and all the negotiating parties may have to come together to sign a single document. It doesn't mean that the agreed position or the framework agreement should take precedence over one another. However, the Government of India, the NNPG and the NSCNIM, as I have stated earlier, none of the negotiating parties has exclusive franchise over the Naga issue. It is basically we are trying to ventilate the sentiments of the Naga people for an early solution which is honorable and acceptable. So as long as the provisions that has already been agreed is honorable and acceptable, then any negotiating parties who has sincere commitment towards the people will have to be compelled to come for signing an agreement. Otherwise, without coming for signing an agreement, how can we claim to be representing the people when the people has all along been urging for us to go for an early solution, and when the roads are clear, and when the Government of India is ready and prepared to give us a solution? Who are we to say no to that? And whoever tried to escape from that, whoever declines to be a part of the common final solution, the people will definitely reject them, and they will be branded as anti-solution elements. So if anyone dares to take that kind of take, then it is for them to take the risk. As for us, we derive our strength from the people, we represent the people, and the people has endorsed us, and accordingly we have worked out all the modalities. So anytime we are ready, as and when the Government of India calls us for signing the final agreement, and whether any other party turns up or not, it is for them to respond to the people.